Hey, what's up, guys? It is Monday, December 30th, 2024. And as you can see, we're at the Bitcoin block height of 877,095. TikTok next block. And if you're thinking about moving some Bitcoin, fees are really, really cheap. If you look over there, 4, 4, 5, 6. But anyways, as you can see from the title, I want to react to a video I saw, a news video I saw about Speaker Mike Johnson being endorsed by Donald Trump, and I'm going to give you my reaction to that. So, yeah, I wasn't really expecting that, but hey, so without further ado, uh, let's get on into it.
I want to take you out to some breaking news that we are following at this hour here, and it all involves what we can expect from a vote next week. So President-elect Donald Trump endorsing House Speaker Mike Johnson as he prepares to fight to keep his role leading Republicans in Congress. Trump saying a short time ago in a post on his social media network Truth Social that Johnson, quote, is a good, hardworking, religious man, and said the Louisiana Republican, quote, will do the right thing and we will continue to win. He said, quote,
Well, that's funny because I called him the other day. I called him the Plastic Man. He looks like a he looks like a doll or something. But I think what he's saying, he's speaking to two people. He's speaking to us, but he's also speaking to Mike Johnson because Mike Johnson's been a terrible Speaker of the House. He just has. But the reason Trump is also saying this is because he's talking to Mike Johnson. He's basically saying, "Look, man, if you want to be in the club, because Mike Johnson was everywhere. He was with him when after Trump got shot, and they had the RNC speech, and he's been to the UFC fights and doing all these things with Mike Johnson." And Mike Johnson's been right there with him. He's kind of like the I call him the nerdy kid hanging with the cool kids, Mike Johnson. And he's a very Christian man, and he's very faith based and stuff like that. I think he's overall a good man, but I think he's a weak man. He just is. And this game of politics is a dirty game. And I think Trump is basically saying, yeah, he'll do the right thing. Basically saying, you are going to do the right thing, Mike Johnson, or you're going to be out. So that's the reason I think he said that.
quote, Mike has my complete and total endorsement. Johnson's continued leadership seemed as though it was in jeopardy after a fight over a federal funding plan put the government at risk for a pre-Christmas shutdown. Though a deal was reached, the dispute showed the limits of Johnson's influence and exposed cracks in his party support. The speaker's first two funding plans collapsed as Trump, who does not take the oath of office until January 20th, interceded with calls to suspend or lift the government debt ceiling. Johnson, who has worked hard to stay close to Trump, convinced the president-elect that he would meet his demands to raise the debt limit in 2025. Trump remained quiet about Johnson's fate before a January 3rd leadership vote for over a week, even as some Republicans signaled.
Let me say something about that, about the debt ceiling. That they should get rid of that, number one. But number two, a lot of people don't remember in 2022, at the end of 2022, they passed basically a no limit spending all the way up until January 2025. And I remember Marjorie Taylor Greene just going ballistic about that. All America First people were. They got to get rid of this stuff, man. They got to get rid of it. But as you can see, let me go back. They talked about January 3rd. That's an important date, obviously.
Trump remained quiet about Johnson's fate before a January 3rd leadership vote for over a week, even as some Republicans signaled that they may not support Johnson for the role. I said next.
Thomas Massey was one of them. Thomas Massey said he will not vote for Mike Johnson. He just won't. And I think Donald Trump endorsing him, I don't know if that's going to change Thomas Massey. It might if Trump pulls him to the side and talks to him. Because again, who is going to be the speaker if it's not going to be Mike Johnson? Because you got to have somebody that's mixed between a rhino and America First, or they won't get the votes. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of people that don't like Trump in the Republican Party.
Week, but it's actually later on this week as January is just a couple days away. Representative Victoria Spartz, one of the Republicans who opposed Kevin McCarthy's initial bid for House Speaker, said in a statement today, quote, that our next House Speaker must show courageous leadership to get our country back on track. The Indiana lawmaker.
And that's what he doesn't have. He's not courageous and he's not a leader. So those are two words you don't want to use on Mike Johnson. But I like him. He's a nice guy. He's just a nerd.
Went on to make a series of demands for the next leader of the GOP majority, which included major spending reform. Now, Mike Johnson has commented here after we did hear from President-elect Trump. He said, "Thank you, President Trump. I'm honored and humbled by your support as always. Together, we will quickly deliver on your America First agenda and usher in the new golden age of America."
Let's read Trump's True Social. He says, we are the party of common sense. Yeah, the conservative party today, guys, that's what it means. You take the word conservative and it's common sense because there's no common sense on the left. A primary reason that we won in a landslide, the magnificent and historic presidential election of 2024. Yep. Again, man, common sense. People are tired of this nonsense, this woke BS. All 7 swing states, 312 electoral college votes, and the popular vote by millions of voters, despite large-scale voter fraud taking place in numerous states, including California, where votes are ridiculously still being counted or under review. And that's what he's saying. Like, people will sit there and say, oh, he's just crying about the election and this, that, and the third. But if that's the case, if we didn't use these stupid machines and all that, it shouldn't be a voting week or voting months. It should be a voting day. You know what I mean? And we're still counting votes a month and a half later, almost 2 months later. This is crazy. All won with ease, calm, and professionalism. Republicans are being praised for having run a quote unquote legendary campaign. Democrats are being exasperated for their effort, having wasted $2.5 billion. Much of it's unaccounted for, with some being used to illegally buy endorsements. 11 million to Beyonce, who never even sang a song. 2 million to Oprah for doing next to nothing, and even 500,000 to Reverend Al Charlatan, I call him Al Sharpton, a professional con man and instigator who agreed to quote unquote interview their quote unquote Star Spangled candidates, Kamala and Joe. Yeah, I mean, if these people love Democrats so much, what do they need to get paid for? If they love Kamala Harris and Donald Trump was a dictator and Adolf Hitler and all that other crap, why are they getting paid all this money? Martin, what's his name? Roly Poly Martin, Roland Martin. He got paid $300 something thousand. All these people are getting paid for a woman they love. Come on, man. It doesn't make any sense. But anyways, you can read the rest and pause it. But this stuff is just ridiculous, man. These people are such freaking liars and snakes.
The American people demand and deserve that we waste no time. Let's get to work with an American flag. And on the left-hand side of your screen, you can see the post from Donald Trump on Truth Social. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but he did say we are the party of common sense, a primary reason that we won in a landslide the magnificent and historic presidential election of 2024.
Yeah, so you guys get it. So, yeah, there you have it, man. I mean, the reason why I think Trump is doing this, honestly, is because January 6th is coming. the new January 6th, the 2025 January 6th. And as Jamie Raskin said, he wants to do a get ready for civil war conditions. You know what I mean? But I think what Trump is doing here, he's like, look, we need a speaker. And in order for him to get certified in the election, Donald Trump, they need to have a speaker. It is what it is. And I think because Mike Johnson is a weak man and he has made mistakes and stuff like that, I think Trump, because he likes him, and also too the combination of who else they're going to get. You know, in a perfect world, we'd like what's my boy's name? Jones, and then Byron Donalds. I forgot that guy's name. Jones. He's a real good, the blonde hair guy. He's been in office for a while, but he's too America first. You can't in today's House of Representatives, you can't have a full blown anything. You can't have a full blown neocon. You can't have a full blown old school conservative. You can't have a full blown MAGA Republican. You just can't, because there's so much mixing in there. But slowly and surely, as these election cycles go every 4 years, we'll hopefully start becoming more America first, with, you know, passing the torch down to JD Vance, and then Elon Musk doing some things, and Vivek, and people, the American people giving Donald Trump and those guys mandates to do these things. But my overall thoughts is, again, I think Donald Trump picked Mike Johnson to say, hey, let's clear the air, guys. You know, if you're with me and with the America First agenda, these American people don't care about this little nonsense that we're going through. All they care about is their bills, closing the border, crime, and everything else. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And again, guys, despite all this nonsense, despite it, we still got the best money in the world. Where is it? It's right here. It starts with a B. And if you don't know what it is, there's a little hint. But here it is as well. It's the best way to save. And for me, the only way to save. It has Bitcoin. I love each and every one of you, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace and love, guys.